West Lafayette. Here's Mike Woodson.
We have struggled on the road. We've been pretty decent at home. We've struggled on the road coming off the bench. And, we just got to somehow, like I told them when I broke here, we got to figure that out as we continue this journey. Because eventually you're going to have to go out on the road and win a game.
As for the Indiana Pacers, back on the practice court before they face the Boston Celtics tomorrow night from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Rick Carlisle on the team getting back to action.
Kind of went into the practice and built momentum and scrimmage at the end. And we want to have a great 22 games. There's a lot to be excited about. A lot of young guys that have developed. We've won some games through all this. We have more to look at. We've got to get a closer look at Jordan Laura, and there's some positional stuff where guys can bump to some different positions, and at the right time, we'll look at all that stuff.
Tonight in college basketball, first at 7, it's Valparaiso hosting Bradley. Indiana State as well in action. The Sycamores on the road at 7:30. They get Belmont. At 8 o'clock, it's Evansville hosting UIC. 8:30, the Butler Bulldogs in Chicago. They get the DePaul Blue Demons in Big East play. And lastly at 9, Notre Dame and North Carolina. That's from Purcell Pavilion in South Bend. To the NFL AFC South news, this is of note to Colts fans. The Titans cutting left tackle Taylor Lewan and wide receiver Robert Woods. I'm Brendan King. We're celebrating our 50th season of Coach's Corner on WSLM Radio and ready to take you into the WSLM Sports Zone. Coach's Corner is your chance to get to know your local coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's before the next games. Join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Red Hot Stove League for the latest from the Cincinnati Reds, and stay around for Coach's Corner. During the week, you'll also hear from IU and Purdue coaches, as well as updates from Indy Racing, NASCAR, and the Indianapolis Colts. You'll find us on WSLM 97.9 FM and WSLM 1220 AM, along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure and follow us all season for a front row seat and a closer look at high school and regional sports.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Nate Pierce, and we're live from the Nader Hater Studios. This is our 50th season, as you just heard, here at Coach's Corner, and, we're proud to be doing this, and for all the reasons that we do it, making sure that there's a little bit of light shed on all that's going on in high school sports. And tonight, normally we just do things around the county, but tonight we're going to stretch out a little bit onto southern Indiana. We're getting ready to start the girls basketball state finals, and there are 3 of the 8 state final teams are from Southern Indiana, and 5 of the 8 that'll be playing for a state title for the first time. We'll be talking to coaches from Lanesville, Corydon Central, and Bedford North Lawrence. In 50 years of doing this program for high school football and girls and boys basketball, I'm not sure if we've ever had 3 in the state finals of any sport in Southern Indiana. So here's the schedule for this Saturday's games on WSLM 97.9 FM. At 10:30, Bethany versus Lanesville, Class A. 12:45, LaPel versus Forest Park, Class 2A. Let's see. Then there'll be a break. 6 p.m. there'll be Fairfield versus Corydon Central, Class 3A. At 8:15, Fishers versus Bedford North Lawrence, Class 4A. Corydon earlier tonight, Becky interviewed their head coach, Lady Panthers coach Josh Conrad, in the Class 3A state final game. Corydon meets the Fairfield Falcons. They're coached by Josh Conrad in his 3rd year at the school. He has a 58-16 record and a 177 to 109 overall after 12 years coaching. The team this year has a 27-2 record with losses only to Scottsburg and Evansville Memorial in a holiday tournament. right now we're going to take you to Becky's interview with Coach Conrad, and we'll meet you back here.
I want to welcome everyone right here on Coach's Corner on WSLM, and I am joined right here by Josh Conrad by phone, and Josh is very busy. Josh was a part of the 3 of the 8 state final teams from Southern Indiana that are going to be playing from Lanesville, Corydon, Central, and Bedford. We're going to be talking to all 3, and we've got Corydon with us today. We want to thank Josh Conrad, and Josh, I think it's your first time ever talking with me here on WSLM.
Yeah, definitely first time, so it's a great reason to be the first time to talk to you going to the state finals. We're excited, and it's nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being generous with your time, and I know you're very busy, and everybody's wanting to talk with you and your team, I'm sure. But let's talk a little bit about yourself. This is your 3rd year at Corydon?
Yeah, my 3rd year at Corydon. I was at Henryville for 10 years as a girls coach before that, and I was the boys JV coach for 5 before that.
Okay, awesome. And why did you choose Corydon?
I actually am a Corydon graduate. My dad was a coach and teacher here for 40 years. He was a boys varsity coach for 13, and my wife was from Corydon, and the superintendent called one day and said, hey, we're going to have a job open. Would you like to come back? And I asked my wife, and she said, yes, it's time to go back. So she was excited to come back, so I was too.
No doubt. So Corydon is home. No, there's no place like home, right?
Yeah, I mean, we moved back, and we're, 1.5 miles from my parents. We're 3 miles to my wife's parents, so it's been a good trip. Plus, you can't beat the basketball part of it. We have a great group of kids. Coach Hill had the program in a good spot, and it's exciting times.
Awesome. Well, and I'm sure your parents are very proud of you, and I'm sure they're even over the moon that you're closer to home. I'm sure.
Yeah, we have 4 kids, and 7, 5, 3, and 1. So I know my mom enjoys spending time with them, as is my wife's parents. So I definitely think they were excited, and they were ready for us to be closer as well.
I love that. Well, let's talk. This year's been a 27-2 record with losses only to Scottsburg and Evansville Memorial in a holiday tourney.
Yeah, well, Scottsburg and Memorial are both very good basketball teams, and the losses both happened for different reasons. The Scottsburg loss, they shot 56, 57% from the field, and I think we missed 30 shots in the paint that game. So I still had a chance to win. I think it was 3 or 4 points with 4 minutes to go. And then the Memorial game, we just had a couple unfortunate things happen, turnovers, and that lead kind of got away from us, and they hit free throws. So both of those games were 2 very different games. Outside of that, we haven't been behind too much in a lot of these games, but been able to stay focused. And the biggest thing about the season is, and this is what I've kind of told people, is that it didn't matter if it was a game or practice. For the most part, the girls have been focused about 95% of the time. You never have to coach effort. So we were able to talk through those losses because of how they work in practice, and really just get better from them.
Do you find it's hard, though? I mean, there's really a lot of games, it seems like. Do you find it hard, of course, not just like with colds, flus, and, sicknesses and all that, but just keeping the morale up? And what's some of your techniques to do that?
Yeah, you talk about, cold, flu, and things like that. My first year that I was here was the COVID year, so... Yeah. I kind of took the job, and I always tell people I wasn't allowed to have a camp or anything youth-wise for almost a year after I got the job. So that was really difficult. Yeah. And then we had a limited summer that year, and we were kind of, trying to catch up during the season. And then, you would get a call the night before a game, hey, you got this many kids out. Mm-hmm. And so that made that first season really difficult. But, this year it's, you asked about playing lots of games. Basketball, you're usually going to have 2 to 3 games a week, and sometimes you get 1 day to prepare, sometimes you get 2 days to prepare. One thing good about the postseason this year is that you had 5 days between sectional and regional to get ready, and then you had another 5 days to get ready for regional semi-state. So, you're able to give the kids kind of some rest days and some days to kind of review things. So, that's been good in the postseason. Mm-hmm. Now the 4 hours to get ready for Indian Creek after the Gibson Southern game was kind of jam-packed, but for the most part, it's been the first normal year I feel like we've had since I got the job here, which is a good thing.
Absolutely. So I believe, am I right? I think that Corydon went to the semi-state back in 2000 and lost the final round. But before that, the regional, was the stopping point. Is that right? Am I?
They were the state runner-up in 2005.
Yeah. Okay.
To South Bend St. Joseph. So,
okay.
They lost, I think it was like about 7 or 8 points that year. We're in a really good spot. Their post player kind of fouled out with about 3 minutes to go. But, that was the last time we've been there was 2005. We have a pep rally tonight. I think a lot of those girls that were on that team are coming back to it. So that's pretty cool to have the past come back and visit the future or the present. So kind of looking forward to seeing those girls tonight to let them talk to our kids about what to expect on Saturday.
I love that so much, and and what a special time for them. These are memories they'll never forget, and obviously they were so special that they're wanting to come back and share, and that's pretty awesome. That's fantastic that's happening. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you got a large majority of them coming back, and we got to go up to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on Monday with the principal and the athletic director, and the first thing I told the girls whenever I got back, whenever you walk in, you're going to be in the hall of the gym and the arena, and just know that when the ball gets tossed up, it's still a basketball game, but there's just way more lights and way more space than this one.
Yeah, no pressure. Well, no, that's awesome though. But the good thing is it's new to everybody. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. They're not the only ones feeling that too, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of, I talked to Fairfield's coach for a little bit that we're going to play, and they lost in the semi-state I think the year before, so they had been to that spot. But both teams will be brand new to the state finals. And I think someone said that it's the 5 of the 8 teams that'll be their first time playing in the state finals, which that's pretty weird. I know we're not in that 5, but it's pretty crazy to think that you're going to have 5 new teams with the chance to win a state championship.
Yeah. Well, I'm so proud of the southern schools coming in, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome, don't you think?
Yeah, we kind of thought all along that Lanesville would get there just because they're a really good basketball team in 1A, and I thought their route was kind of there for them to go take if they wanted to do it. Bedford is historically a really good program, year in, year out, and they have some great players coming back. And then we told the girls all season that we thought we had a change. It's just a matter of coming to work each day to get better and to learn to play together as a group, and take it one day at a time. And we've been very fortunate that they've been a pretty focused group, and we're looking forward to it.
So I have to ask. So before, when you first, when you saw everybody, and you first started practicing with this team, and the chemistry, because it can be, it's like I always like baking a cake, the right ingredients. Did you know that this team was going to be pretty awesome?
Yeah, I thought we would. We had a really good summer, so that's always nice to have that summer where you can, get them away from basketball and let them kind of interact with each other off the court. And they usually hang out with their friends, but whenever seniors get to hang out with freshmen, it just kind of makes that learning process easier for both groups.
Yeah.
And I was kind of joking around with Andy Starr yesterday, and I said, the first day of practice, I said, hey, how many of you guys think we can play for a state championship? And they were kind of reluctant to raise their hand. I go, I think we can. So on the second day, I said the same thing, and he started laughing. I go, and I try to mention it every day, like, we have that opportunity to go play for a state championship. Once February gets here, it's all new season, and we get from what we put into it.
Yeah.
And that's been a pretty incredible experience for the kids.
So why do you think what's special about this team? What would you have to say about this?
I think they lean on their defense, and they aren't afraid to do the little things defensively with like contact and checking people out and trying to keep people in front of you that a lot of teams, they might have 1 or 2 people that don't want to do that. And, we feel like we have 7 or 8 pretty comfortably that aren't afraid to. I always tell them to get a little dirty and dive on the ball, or to go check somebody out across the court. Or Saturday night we played a girl who was 6'4" from Indian Creek, and we didn't have any girls that shied away from going to check her out or going right at her. And that's kind of what makes the group special, is that they're not going to back down. They're going to go compete, and I think that's why when they get in there Saturday, that they're not going to be afraid of the environment, and they're going to go hopefully fight for a state championship.
Absolutely. And what's your roster look like? I mean, are you like a lot of seniors, juniors? What's it made up? Tell us about your team.
So we have 3 seniors. We're led by Ava Weber. She averages right at 21, 22 points a game. In the postseason, she's averaged 27 a game. and she's our school's all-time leading scorer. She has, I think, 1,800 points is where she's at. She's an NBA All-Star candidate, so she's a pretty much the glue on both ends because she's a very active defensive player as well. Her other senior that plays a lot with her is one of our guards, Bailey Orm. She's the school's all-time leading assist leader. She's second in steals, and she does a good job anchoring our offense and defense. She kind of sets things up, and she's kind of like another coach on the court is what I always tell her. And she has a lot of responsibility, and I tell her that I trust her decisions. And I really do. I really have kind of enjoyed watching her grow up the last few years and take on that leadership role. One of our reserves is another senior, Bree Edwards. Bree's a knockdown shooter. She shoots around 40% from the three-point line. And then we have one junior, Morgan Adams, that starts and plays quite a bit. She had a double-double in the Gibson 7 game just because, she gets it. She goes in there and mixes it up. And, if there's a loose ball on the ground, the chances are Morgan is going to come out with it. And we have two sophomores, Josie Vaughn. Josie's our second leading scorer, and Josie's another 40% shooter. Very good passer, very good on the defensive end. The other sophomore, 6'1", Alyssa Groover. And I think our forced part game, we kind of joked around with her. She got hit in the face with an elbow and had a big, bruised eye. And ever since then, she's been fearless in the paint, and she's really kind of made our defense go from good to great. She contests every shot. She's active on the glass, getting rebounds, and she just has made us so much better defensively because of her activity that I think she was kind of that founding piece that we were missing. That person who makes everyone question if they want to shoot the shot or not in the paint. I think it's the whole, one of the NBA players used to say, it's not about blocking every shot. It's making them think you're going to block every shot. And I think Alyssa's done that, and we're fortunate to have her. And then we have some freshmen that come off the bench and play quite a bit, and Reese Withers and Jordan McCarty.
Wow, you've got a nice little makeup there, and it's nice to meet your team. Now, how do you, as a coach, how do you discipline them as far as making sure they take care of themselves? Do you try to make sure that they right now are taking they're athletes, their body, making sure they're eating well and eating good food? Are they in the weight room, or what's some of the things you're doing right now as a coach?
Yeah, most of them, they have there are a lot of them are in the weightlifting class that we have here at school. That's done with somebody who's, certified in that. So that helps out quite a bit. Our athletic trainer, he kind of brings them shakes and things like that to replenish their body. So he's pretty active in his role and kind of helping get their body back up and running. And, we simply talk about, what kind of foods to eat. And, say that, we might be playing a state championship game, but we don't want you to get out of whatever normal routine you have, whether it's, what type of food you eat for breakfast or what you do in the weight room or wherever it is, you try to do what you do and just make sure you're the best version of you whenever it gets here. And, there's sickness going around like everything else. We have a stomach bug going through our school right now, but we're hoping to stay healthy for a few more days.
Yeah, I do know that's going around. I've heard about that, and that is a degree of difficulty for coaches, and you got to remember their age too. There's a lot going on, and with schoolwork and everything, and then there's a lot of this. I think that sometimes we forget the age that they are. Do you?
Yeah, and it's especially with girls, and especially with the group of girls that we've been fortunate to have at Corydon, even in Henryville. There's great kids. Most of them are 3.5 to 4.0 students. Mm-hmm. We always joke around, if there's a baby around, if there's little kids around, our team flocks to them, and they all feel like they're, that they have to go play with those kids and interact with them. They're just, I think our former coach, Coach Uhl, he just said they're just good kids that people like to to watch, just because they make everyone around them better. And, they put our program in a great spot. And it's just because of the type of people, the type of, environment that they've grown up in. And I always tell them, they make my job easy. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I love the relationship that coaches have with their players. And I always call it a sheep and a shepherd, And I think that's so good that. And I love that we're getting to know you and your team a little bit more. So then when, we're going to be broadcasting the game, but it's nice to actually I feel like we're getting a little bit of insight to kind of know your team a little bit more. Is there any uniqueness that you guys do? Like, do you have a song that the girls sing, or what do they do before they go out, or is there something they do?
I'm typically not in there when they start singing. I try to avoid that part of the day. But, I do know they do listen to some music, and they have their speakers in there. I think they have a strobe light too, or some kind of light. Disco light. I don't know what it is, but they have stuff they listen to. I know they always play. There's 2 Christian songs they always play, and you can kind of hear them singing that at the top of their lungs sometimes. But we always. The coaches, we say, we want them to have 15 to 20 minutes before we come in there and talk, where they get to go be kids and just be with each other before we get in there and serious, and our seniors do a good job kind of policing that and making sure that that even though it's a little bit of downtime, they're still enjoying each other's company and just being together and. It's always kind of neat to hear them, and they're always usually ready to go whenever we walk in to talk to them.
I love that. Yeah, that. But I think you're missing, Josh. I think you're missing a good party there. The disco ball. I'm totally jealous. Okay.
Well, it's they have pep rallies after the sectional, the regional, and the semi-state, and we always send them into the locker room for 10 minutes while people are walking in, and they can never hear somebody knock on the door, so you got to knock on it, kick on it, and say, all right, girls, it's time to come out here. And they're all like, can we sing for a couple more minutes? I'm like, no, it's time to come out here.
They really are living their best life, aren't they? That's awesome. I love that.
They have a good time with each other.
Love that. All right, so you play at 6 p.m., is that right?
Yes, 6 p.m.
All right, and you'll be playing Fairfield, right?
Fairfield, yes.
Yes. And you any concerns or anything that that you have on that?
Well, we've been able to really since Saturday night kind of dive into Fairfield's team and their stats, and they're just a very good defensive team. They actually lead the state in defensive average. They only give up 28 points a game, so they're a very good defensive team. They play a 2-3 zone probably 80% of the time. And then they play a 1-3-1 the rest of that. Very rarely do you see them come out and play man-to-man. And they just, they defensively, they don't beat themselves. They make you make plays, and hopefully we get out there and we can move the basketball and get good shots. And then offensively, they do a good job setting flare screens for each other, and they're a good outside shooting team. And they're led by the coach's daughter, number 15. I think her last name's Graber. I could be wrong. But she's just a really good player. She's 6 foot tall. She's pretty much their point guard. She handles the ball. And she just kind of leads their team on both ends. She's a lot like Ava in that aspect. But, they play extremely hard, and they're very disciplined. And, they're going to make you beat them. They're not going to beat themselves.
Awesome. Well, you got your work cut out for you, but that always makes it a little bit more interesting, don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's we tell the girls at semi-state, teams that are here in 3A basketball aren't here because of luck. They're here because they're really good at basketball. And I said that's the same reason why you're here, because you're really good at basketball. So we're playing for a state championship against a great basketball team. I think it's something to say like we're a great basketball team too, and. I think that's, every team that gets here to this level, they're good at what they do, and by now they all have a style that they're going to play, and it's the other team's task to kind of get them out of that style and kind of go at them and see how they react.
Awesome. Coach, you've been awesome. We hit our 20 minutes. I promise you. I know you have several other interviews. You've got a lot going on today, and even a pep rally. So I appreciate you letting us know about getting to know you and your team, and we're going to be cheering you on and wishing you the best of luck. And thank you so much, Coach, for taking time for us this afternoon.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, best of luck. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks, Becky. It was a great interview, and good best of wishes to Corydon and Coach Conrad down there. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be right back.
This is going where it's never gone before. To the bottom, Papa John's is flipping the pizza over and putting it underneath the crust. Papa John's Crispy Parm Pizza features their thin crust seasoned with a blend of shredded Parmesan, Romano cheese, and can be ordered with your choice of toppings. The Crispy Parm Pizza gives you an added crisp bite, provided by the cheesy crust baked to perfection. Enjoy the Crispy Parm Pizza with one topping for $12.99 and get one in time to celebrate National Pizza Day on February the 9th. Call today 812-883-3369 for order to pick up or delivery, or use the Papa John's app to start earning Papa Rewards. Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. Introducing Papa Bites, a new taste sensation from Papa John's. You'll get 8 savory or sweet, delectable pockets of our fresh, never frozen dough, rolled up in your choice of 3 unique, delicious choices: chicken parmesan, jalapeno, or Oreo cookie. Get an order today to share or call in an order just for yourself. Chicken Parmesan Bites are made with fresh dough, grilled chicken, Parmesan cheese, and pizza sauce. Finished with garlic Parmesan seasoning, served with pizza dipping sauce. Jalapeno Bites are made with our fresh dough topped with a signature cheese, Alfredo, and jalapenos, rolled up, cut into 8 shareable bites, and baked to perfection. Served with ranch dipping sauce. Oreo Cookie Bites are topped with cheesecake filling, Oreo cookie pieces, baked to perfection, and drizzled with icing, served with icing for dipping. Remember, Papa John's, right here in Salem. Call 812-883-3369 for your order or pickup or delivery. Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's.
Just announced and coming to Nashville, Indiana, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Dave Mason.
There ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy, there's only you and me, and we just disagree.
Live in concert at the Brown County Music Center, Friday, February 17th. A must-see live experience with Dave Mason, live in Nashville, Indiana, February 17th. Tickets and details at BrownCountyMusicCenter.com.
Find your outdoor adventure at the Ford 68th Annual Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show, February 17th through 19th and 22nd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Over 750,000 square feet of the latest boats, RVs, power sports, motorcycles, Tackletown USA, travel destinations from across North America, and much more. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. And don't miss the 25th Annual Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo during the final 4 days of the sports show, February 23rd through 26th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's the largest hunting expo in the Midwest, displaying the latest hunting, archery, and waterfowl gear. Hunting outfitters from around the globe. Learn from the pros at the Hunting Seminar Series. Get your deer scored and see the Hoosier Record Book Hall of Fame. One ticket gets you into both shows. Save money and buy tickets online at IndySportShow.com. Another Renfro production.
This is Becky White from WSLM, and I'm here at the beautiful John Jones showroom in Salem, Indiana for the John Jones Auto Minute.
Hello, and this is Jalen over at John Jones, and I'm here to ring in 23 with you. Here at John Jones, we are ready to help you achieve your New Year resolution. New year, new you, new car. Tired of the troubles your old ride was giving you in 22? Well, that was in the past. Make it a point to upgrade your car and ride through 23 in a safer, more reliable vehicle. We have one of the largest inventories in southern Indiana and several convenient locations for you to shop from. You can see all of our vehicles online at johnjonesautogroup.com or give us a call today at 877-473-5546. And again, this is Jalen over at John Jones. And remember, you've seen so many because they paid so little.
Agriculture teachers rely on FFA alumni members and countless volunteers to help ease the outside commitments of teaching. Hello everyone, I'm Cindy Young with Brownfield, recognizing the important role that FFA alumni members play during this National FFA Week and year-round. FFA relies on alumni members for student recruiting, scholarship money, advocacy for agricultural education, aiding in camps, conferences, National FFA Convention, and other personal development programs. Anyone who believes in the importance of FFA and agricultural education can be a member of the National FFA Alumni Association. Even if you never wore a blue jacket yourself, you're welcome to join and help prepare students for a brighter future. Join us in recognizing FFA alumni and supporters during this National FFA Week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we're going to be speaking with Lanesville head coach Angie Hinton. She's in her 5th year at the school. She's 115 and 19 overall, and that's pretty impressive. She has a record of 288 and 92 overall and 16 total years of coaching. I mean, that speaks volumes in itself. The Lady Lions have racked up a record of 27 and 2 this season, with their only losses to Corydon and Evansville Memorial in a holiday tournament. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, good, thank you.
So you guys are going to be up against Bethany Christian, who are 24 and 3 under Kristen Parsons, who's been with the Bruins for 17 years. What's your roster look like this year, and what's the mix? Are you senior heavy? Are you senior poor? How's that team look?
Well, we're kind of a mix. I have 2 seniors, I have a junior, and 2 sophomores that start for me.
Okay, and I'm really happy that you guys have had the success that you had, and I'm glad that you guys have decided to come on the show with us tonight. One thing that, if you've never heard the show, one thing we preach about here is family. These sports aren't just games to us. We raise these kids as a family. Do you guys have that same mindset down there in Lanesville?
Oh, absolutely. The community itself is just embedded in generations of families growing up there, being together, always supporting. And, of course, my history is, my family's on my bench. They're either coaching with me or they've played for me growing up, and they've always been with me in my career and Joe's career all along.
Yeah, and you've got a pretty impressive record here overall. I was just telling the listeners that a 28 and 92 overall over 16 years. That's a pretty decent record there. You're 115 and 19 with the Lady Eagles, and that's I can't say enough about how impressive that is to me.
Well, it certainly is, but it goes without saying you got to have some talented kids who buy into your program to be able to be that successful. The kids at Lanesville, from the time that I've been there, they've just been all in. They work in the off season and they put the time in to get their skills better. And you don't win ball games unless you've got kids to put on the floor to win ball games.
That's right. I mean, it's an eclectic mix of everything. You've got your coaching staff, you got the style of play, your preseason, your program, your weights, your whatever you got going before season, your players. I mean, it's a little bit of everything, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The off season is where you learn and grow and also become closer as a team. The one thing that we did this year that was different in my previous 4 years there at Lanesville, of course, we had COVID in there and all of that, but we went to a team camp together, and that was the first time that we had done that. And I think that was a real turning point for the kids, just to be away from everybody, be together as a team, be in situations where it's a little stressful, but a lot of fun too. I think that really brought us close together, and I think it made them realize that they had to be accountable and they could hold each other accountable to be better people, be better players on the court. And that means a lot to us because our team chemistry is the key to this team. We don't have big superstars, but we do have a lot of talented kids who have learned to work together and kind of grind things out in tough situations. We also increased our schedule this year to the point where we knew we were going to be put in competitive situations where we would have to fight through it, have more losses than we had in the past. And the kids were okay with that. They wanted the challenge, and they didn't care if they lost the game as long as they learned from it and it made them better so that we would be better at the end of the season. And yeah. I think, that certainly did help us this year.
Absolutely. I mean, a 27-2 record on the season, that's amazing to me. You guys, and basketball season is such a big season. You're playing 3, maybe 4 games a week, and you don't really have time to you don't have days in between some of these games to prep for the next team. So you're kind of, just kind of having to take some of it as you go, and that can be extremely stressful. And I applaud you guys as coaches to be able to get that done and be successful at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of video watching that we do as coaches so that we can kind of prepare our kids. I think, we don't really inundate them with a lot of watching of game film as much as just sending them small clips of things that they need to see and do, and us being prepared as coaches to coach them in practice so that their skills are getting better, that they know, where the emphasis needs to be for a game. And we always try to kind of take the pressure off by just working with them to the point that we focus on doing what we do best. We have to fix ourselves to the point where we can compete against better teams, and then we kind of take care of the scouting report as we're going along, but really we're just trying to prepare ourselves to be able to play on the court. And they seem to really like that kind of style, because if you stop sometimes and too much emphasis on the other team, then they forget about what they need to do, which is just go out and play basketball sometimes.
Right. At some point, you've got to focus on just doing the things that you're coached to do, and just know your fundamentals, know your sets, and just get out there and play your game. Because, like you said, if you start to inundate them with too much information, they start to forget the basics, and they're worried about this over here or that over there instead of what's right in front of them and the simplicity of the game.
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys are one of 3 teams in southern Indiana that are going to be playing in the tournament, and this year there's 5 teams that have been there, going there for the first time, and to me that speaks volumes as to anybody any given day can be that team. They can be champions, and for you guys to be going up there to play in this state tournament really it's kind of in its own spectrum as to how things go whenever you get into high school sports and things. This is what you train for. This is the whole purpose that you play the game, to get to that big show. And it's got to be a special time for everybody around Lanesville right now.
Oh, it certainly is, and it's just really fun to step back and see all the happiness and all the celebration of the kids and each other, the community, because, it's a lot of fun for them to be able to go follow these kids and go to these different venues and, get dressed up and, go out to eat and just do different things. Just in the process of watching a basketball game, to see the student crowd just increase time after time, because that's really important to the girls on the floor. When they come into a gym and they see their classmates out there all dressed up crazy, they see their community people and their families out there dressed up crazy. I mean, it makes it a lot of fun for them, and those are memories that they're making that they'll have for a lifetime, and then hopefully one day, pay that back to the community, to the kids, the generations coming up, to keep that going, because it's so important to give back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the name of it there. Looking at forward at the Bethany Christian game, what are some things that you're going to try to take away from them, and what are some things you think they're going to try to take away from you to make sure that you guys are the ones that are cutting down that net?
Well, they've got 2 really key players that just kind of run their team. They've got a guard, I can pronounce her name right, Stolfus, that is just a really good ball handler, and she's a good playmaker, but she can also hit the 3. She has willed her team through some games, especially here in the tournament. And then her counterpart is Wslm, who's kind of a wing player. She can shoot from the outside, flash to the basket. Just a really good basketball player. Those 2 just seem to find each other all over the court. So those are two kids that we really have to key on. But we can't forget about they've got a center in there that just does her job. She's there for rebounds. She gets the ball. She can make buckets. And they've got a good outside shooter that's just out there waiting for when you're keying on the two better girls, the main girls. They're out there waiting to knock a three down. So I think for us, our defense has to be really good. Our defense has carried us, throughout most of the year.
It sounds like to me that you're
is solid, but it's not outstanding. But we need to control the board. I think we've got a little bit of a size advantage, and I think key to the game is us controlling the board and also trying to slow down their better players.
Right, and it sounds like to me that your defense is going to have to be very versatile whenever it comes to this, because like you said, if you spend too much time keying on these two, then they've got that center that's going to sneak in there, and you're going to have to be able to be all over the place a little bit, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're going to have to stay pretty matched up. Whatever formation we come out in, even though we're keying on the players, we have to pay attention to the others, absolutely. And, this team has knocked off teams along the way. It wasn't a team that, I really had in my sight. You don't know all that much about the northern teams. But they kind of, they've been there all year long, but there's, been a couple teams up in the north that I think everybody expected to come out. And, this team has done a good job of peaking at the right time. And, again, they're gritty. They got some gritty kids, a little guard. She's a gritty little player, and she can knock down free throws also. So we're going to have to bring our best game. I think they're going to try to take away, some of our inside game because they do guard well. They'll probably try to take away some of our inside so that we're not getting any easy baskets in there and trying to make us, go from the outside. So it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, it sounds like it for sure. Well, Coach, it's been great talking to you tonight. Good luck to you guys, and, I can't wait to see how this turns out for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Angie Hinton. She's the head coach of Lanesville Lady Eagles, and good luck to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Fantastic Sam's Cut and Color is hiring stylists. If you're driven, creative, and ready to make an impact, then we're looking for you. We offer competitive salaries, flexible schedules, and professional training. So bring your creativity, style, and drive to your local Fantastic Sam's today and show us what you've got. Fantastic Sam's. Real salon experiences. Real savings. Real fantastic.
Hoop season is back on WSLM. Whether you're listening to local high school girls and boys basketball, IU or Purdue men's basketball, or the Indiana Pacers, you'll need to get dialed in to the WSLM Sports Zone to follow all the action this season. And what better way to enjoy the game on WSLM than to pair it with great food from Papa John's? Go to your Papa John's app to order for pickup or delivery. Call 812-883-3369 or stop in at their location at the corner of Main and Hackberry Streets. Either way, stop in for a hot, fresh pizza, breadsticks, wings, or desserts, and a cold drink today. And keep your radio tuned to WSLM for hoops action all season long. And to hear more great specials from your Papa John's in Salem.
All right, we're going to wrap up tonight with Jeff Allen. He's the head coach of the Bedford North Orange Lady Stars, who will be representing Class 4A in Southern Indiana. The Lady Stars face off against the Fishers Tigers this Saturday in our last game. The team is 26-3, and the coach is 205-40 in his 9th year. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good night to talk some basketball, and I'm really excited to see so many of these Southern Indiana girls basketball teams in that state tournament.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an exciting day. It's a great thing. Doing this week of prep, knowing that you're in that state final game. Myself and then 3 other programs here in the southern part of the state. We're going to go up and do our best and hopefully make some memories.
So yeah, it looks here, like I was saying, you're 26-3 on the season, 205-40 in your 9th year. You took over after Damon Bailey, and you've been pretty consistent the past few years in getting to the regional semi-state rounds. What's different about this team compared to the other teams in this tournament?
Well, we're experienced. Like you said, we've been through the regional and semi-state rounds with a lot of these kids. They're seniors now, and we're mostly juniors and seniors. So we've got a lot of experience out there, and these kids, they've gotten better over the years too. I mean, they've really improved their skill. They've been playing really well together. I think this bunch this year, I've had some good teams in the past, but I don't know if I've ever had a team play as hard as this team does. They really get after it, and that's a fun thing to watch, both as a coach and I think as a spectator too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labors, and getting this far into the tournament and being so consistent really shows that you're doing a pretty good job out there, I think.
Well, I told the girls today in practice, I said, the hard part's over. Getting there is the hard part. We've been trying to get there for a while. We still had a lot of success, but we haven't been able to make that jump. And, we've done it this year. And I think consistency is the key. We run the same things and preach the same talking points and believe the same things about how the game should be played. Ultimately, if you have great support from your community like we have, you can continually have success in your program.
Yeah, and people that don't know about how sports actually work in schools, they don't know the amount of effort and the amount of work and planning and forethought that goes into this. You guys start practices or at least weightlifting and training and things like that way before the season ever starts.
Yeah, it's really a year-round process. There's a little bit of downtime once in a while, but you're always planning for the future, or you're always thinking about the next thing you should be doing. Whether in season you're doing film and practice prep, or off season you're thinking, well, how can I get my young kids better? What can I do to improve my program? So it's basically, you're right, it's a year-round process.
Yeah, and we talk a lot on the show here because I was a youth football coach for 12 years as well, and we would work hand in hand with those high school coaches to put in their offense and work with the kids and train them in a certain way. That way, by the time they went from that third grade starting out to freshman in high school, they were coachable and ready to go. And it just makes sense to start from the bottom up.
Absolutely. Not only, actually, learning certain offenses or defenses, but just understanding what's expected, to compete at that level and what the coaching staff expects from your student athletes, both on the floor and off the floor, on the field and off the field.
Right, and that's another thing that's, a lot of the newer generation don't know how much an old school coach will instill discipline before anything in their kids, and respect. A lack of respect off the court translates to the same thing on the court. So it's more than just going out here and playing basketball. We're raising people.
Absolutely. To me, discipline is a huge part of the game. Just from our standpoint, we're kind of a free-flowing offense. We really like to get up and down the floor. But there's times you have to be disciplined when you're playing somebody that's, of a certain level, the same level as you. You have to be disciplined. You have to execute. You have to make good decisions. The same way, it's, basketball mirrors life. It's the same thing when you're in life. You have to make good decisions. You have to be disciplined if you want to have success.
Yeah, and, that's success is the name of the game. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to take these girls and make them the best basketball player that they can be. Not only the best basketball player, but the best teammate they can be, and see how far into the postseason we can get them.
Absolutely, and I think that's been a big key for us this year. Is these kids, they're really a tight-knit group. They're great teammates. They really care about their teammate. I think that's the difference. If you have, you have to have talent to be successful at a high level. But if you have kids that are talented and they put the team first and their teammates first, then you have the ability to really have great success.
Right, and along with talent, you've got to have kids that they have the heart, they have the want to be there, they have the gumption to take the extra steps to be at that next level.
Right, and I think tradition has a lot to do with that. We've had a great tradition here at Bedford North Lawrence with girls basketball. The girls around the area here, they grow up, wanting to be a Lady Star. When they walk on the floor, they expect to win, and I just think that's huge as far as the kids understanding and what's expected and how hard they have to play and how they treat their teammates and how they respect the game.
Yeah, and like you said, that's what you strive for whenever you're bringing these kids up. They want to be on that court just as much as anybody, and when they finally get that day that they get to step on that court and be a Lady Star, that is something special. Now they get to carry that even a step farther, and they're playing in the state 4A championship.
Yeah, it's really, when you finally achieve it, it's really a dream come true when you can get to that level. I know, there's several teams that have been able to get there. I was lucky to get there back with Kurt and Damon back in 13 and 14. I was one of the assistants. I know how special this time is this week, and then that day. It just makes memories for a lifetime for both players and coaches. That's the thing about sports. I tell my kids all the time that I coach, it's not necessarily the success you have on the field, but it's the memories that you make, and it's positions it puts you in, for the future. That's really important.
Right, and like I've always said, we're raising people here. We're not raising, the next NBA star. If that happens, that's a bonus, but for the most part, we're raising the next leaders of the community.
Absolutely. I want to win as many games as I can, but when I see these young girls graduate and go on and be really successful and come back and see me and tell me how things are going, that makes me feel like I'm doing a great job, and that's what I try to focus on. I want to win as many games as I can, but I want to make great leaders and great girls into young women for our community.
Exactly right. And speaking of community, what's the outpouring like? What's the support that you guys are getting from the Bedford area up there?
Well, we're a basketball town, kind of like a lot of other southern Indiana towns. So we've had great support. We had a great crowd this weekend at the semi-state. I think we're going to have a really nice crowd up in Indianapolis this weekend. When you get to this level, the people around here, they're always supportive, but they really come out when you get a chance to play at this high level we're going to get to.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that hometown spirit to really, instill a little more of that enthusiasm in your girls, give them that head of steam that they need, and the sense of the you can do this that you'll get from that hometown crowd. And it's very important for them to be able to carry this into the state tournament, because we had girls there a few years ago, and it was one of the, it was the talk of the town. That's all there was, and having that kind of support will embolden your girls and hopefully carry them to that state title and get to cut down that net.
Absolutely. I think it helped tremendously this weekend at the semi-state, having that great crowd. It was two tough opponents. We played two tough games, and I think having that crowd and that support, helped carry us through some tough times in both those games.
The amount of coverage that these Southern Indiana teams are getting right now, getting into the tournament, and there's 5 teams that have not ever been there before. Girls basketball is really the talk of Southern Indiana right now, and I've never been so enthused about something like this, and to see that you guys are doing so well really speaks volumes about what you guys are doing as a coaching staff. And you guys should really, after this is all over with, sit around and pat each other on the back and tell each other, job well done, because this is, it's just great to see that everybody is on the same page and moving in the same direction.
Well, I appreciate that. We definitely will. We get through this weekend, we'll probably take a week or two off, and then we'll start talking about next year. That's usually what coaches do.
That's right.
But we're definitely going to look back and reflect on this year and what we've done and what these kids have done. And I think again, talk about memories. We're going to cherish this year, and those kids are going to look back and cherish this year for a long, long time.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, it's been great to get to interview you tonight, and hopefully I get to interview you after your state title win.
Well, that would be great. I'd be happy to come back, and we'll hope that's what happens.
All right, Coach. We will talk to you later, and you have a good night, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for a little bit of inspiration.
joint surgery, injury, or illness. Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, two great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
Communication is important on the football field just like in life. That's why Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Jason Petmeyer wants to get to know his customers. Whether it's auto, home, life, farm, or business insurance, Jason will listen to you and help you create an insurance plan to match your needs. Call Indiana Farm Bureau agent Jason Petmeyer at 812-883-2995 or stop by his office at 813 South Jackson Street in Salem. Jason Petmeyer is a proud supporter of the Salem Lions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And, normally this is the time that I'll do a daily inspirational quote. I don't have a quote tonight. What I want to use as the inspiration is just what we've been talking about tonight. The amount of teams that are first-timers going to the state championship Saturday. We've got 3 Southern Indiana schools that are going to the state championship. And to me, that is all the inspiration that we need, to be getting to that tournament, especially those schools that are going for the first time, getting to the finals as a first-time school. That is just inspiring as all get out, because if those schools can get up there and compete with these people that have been there multiple times, then anybody can do that. You've got to believe in yourself, and you've got to believe in your program. So being able to get behind your coaching staff, getting behind your program and giving them the support that they need to be successful is so important. And we've experienced that a lot here in Salem. We have got a group of people that are ready to get behind the programs and push as hard as we can. Now, does that always work? No. And in recent years, we've seen that that's not always the case. But whenever you take a look at these schools that are getting to that tournament for the first time, Salem has been to that tournament. Eastern has been to that tournament. I'm not sure. Has West Washington ever played the state tournament? Not in basketball. Okay. So there's inspiration there. You can do this. You just got to believe in yourself. We had a boy wrestle for semi-state last week. Now, he didn't advance, but he made it to semi-state. And that's 2 years in a row that we've had wrestlers at semi-state. So it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of everybody buying into the program, the coaching going smoothly, and, putting in that extra work. And that's across the board. That's all sports. You've got to have the right personnel in the right place, and whenever everything lines up, you've got to have the kids that want to be that state champion. Because if you just want to be on the team, that doesn't get you to state championships. You have got to buy in, and you've got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your coaches. All right, so that's all the inspiration I've got for tonight. But I think that was pretty important to get out there and to talk about. So also, the regular boys basketball season wraps up this Friday night. And boys sectionals will begin next Tuesday, February 28th. Coach's Corner is going to take the week off due to sectional games Wednesday night. But we'll be back the next week to talk with the boys coaches. Also, NCAA men's basketball will be wrapping up its regular season soon with the area tournament taking place in mid-March, and the NCAA beginning a few days after that. So everybody's ready for March Madness. And if anybody knows how Florida and Kentucky's going right now, I don't know if I want you to tell me. I don't want to pull my heart broke. Well, there we go. What at halftime? Okay, well, let's go Gators. Sorry, all you Kentucky fans out there. I don't think your mic's on again, Greg. But yeah, NCAA or the Big Ten tournament, March 8th in Chicago. Chicago's not that far, but it's pretty far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight, and I'll see you back here in a couple of weeks, and maybe we'll get to talk to some state champions from the girls basketball here in Southern Indiana next time. So you guys have a great night, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
Be sure and set your dials to WSLM 97.9 FM and 1220 AM next week for Coach's Corner Live. Brought to you in part by Salem McDonald's. To get a front row seat into local high school sports here in the WSLM Sports Zone.
If you're looking for a church in the area, try Turning Point Church at 899 West McLean Avenue in Scottsburg. Come see Pastor John Jackson and the congregation at Turning Point, a place for second chances and new beginnings. Regular services are on Sunday at 10 a.m., Tuesday prayer time at 7 p.m., and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Check them out on Facebook, YouTube, or online at turningpointchurchscottsburg.com for upcoming events, class times, and more. Also, Turning Point will be having a food giveaway for the community on February the 6th and February the 20th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or until the food runs out. Cheese is going where it's never gone before. To the bottom, Papa John's is flipping the pizza over and putting it underneath the crust. Papa John's Crispy Parm Pizza features their thin crust seasoned with a blend of shredded Parmesan, Romano cheese, and can be ordered with your choice of toppings. The Crispy Parm Pizza gives you an added crisp bite provided by the cheesy crust baked to perfection. Enjoy the Crispy Parm Pizza with one topping for $12.99 and get one in time to celebrate National Pizza Day on February the 9th. Call today 812-883-3369 or order to pick up or delivery, or use the Papa John's app to start earning Papa Rewards. Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. Introducing Papa Bites, a new taste sensation from Papa John's. You'll get 8 savory or sweet delectable pockets of our fresh, never frozen dough, rolled up in your choice of 3 unique, delicious choices: chicken parmesan, jalapeno, or Oreo cookie. Get an order today to share or call in an order just for yourself. Chicken Parmesan Bites are made with fresh dough, grilled chicken, Parmesan cheese, and pizza sauce. Finished with garlic Parmesan seasoning, served with pizza dipping sauce. Jalapeno Bites are made with our fresh dough topped with a signature cheese